Rolls-Royce doesn't do convertibles very often, but when they do, they don't screw around. This is the last one that they made at this point in time. This is a 2017 Rolls-Royce Dawn. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified anytime we release a video. So the Rolls-Royce Dawn is more than just a convertible version of the Rolls-Royce Wraith. If you put the cars beside each other, they look very similar, but there's also a lot of important differences. The main one being the fact that you have a rag top now. So a few details up front. Shares the headlights with the Wraith. It's got that iconic LED signature that came on these second generation Wraiths, because halfway through the life cycle, they kind of updated the bodywork, updated the tech inside, but still built it on the same chassis using the same engine and transmission. A couple of new rim options and stuff, but when the Dawn came out, that was to kind of commemorate the move from the first generation Wraith to the second in terms of chassis. You wouldn't know unless I had the cars beside each other, but the grille is actually recessed a little bit. Lower bumper has a slightly different treatment that kind of gives you optically the look that it's a little bit closer to the ground. The car is extremely sleek even with the top down. You have the chrome grille with the chrome slats. Spirit of Ecstasy, this one I think is made of chrome. You can get them made out of gold, you can get them made out of silver, you can get them made out of crystal. This one is just your standard one. This particular Dawn is just a single tone color, which I think is nice, and it's my favorite color, black. You still have a few chrome trinkets, the grille, the Spirit of Ecstasy, this line on the hood, door handles, tail light trim, which we're gonna see when we go to the back. When you look inside this grille, all you see is radiators, because inside there is a BMW V12, same engine that was in the Wraith Black Badge that we were talking about, detuned by about 20 horsepower, but it's 563 horsepower, 6.6 liter V12. 0 to 60, who cares? Probably less than 6 seconds. If we come around to the side here, these panels on the Dawn are actually, most of them are bespoke to this model. And I hope so if you're asking $500,000 Canadian, which is what this car, about what it cost when it was new. These panels here are actually made of aluminum. Front bumper is plastic. This car was equipped with what they call the partially polished 7-spoke wheels. So the front of the wheel is all polished and the inside of the spokes kind of have like a gray painted finish. They all have these self-leveling center caps, and you can get these on a lot of cars these days, but Rolls-Royce, as far as I know, is the only ones that will stay level even if you're doing, say, 200 kilometers an hour. Built into your side reflector here is this little camera, and you have one on the other side too. So when you're driving a land yacht like this and you're kind of coming into traffic and going into intersections, it's safer, especially with cyclists and pedestrians and other vehicles, that when you kind of are going into something where you can't see what's on the other side, you just poke the nose out, hit a button on the inside that shows the image from these cameras. So you can kind of see something coming without exposing too much of the car and risking an incident. The color is called Diamond Black. The lights in here don't do much for this color, but it's got rich and creamy, and when we go outside, you're gonna see how the black on this car is really stands out. They don't call them suicide doors anymore, they call them coach doors. So open in the opposing direction. With passenger-friendly Rolls-Royces like the Dawn, the rear door opens like this and the front door opens normally. And the umbrella that every Rolls-Royce comes with is usually plugged into the door. But with the Dawn and the Wraith, they do it all in the front fender here. So I just press the button to release it and you get one of these. I get one, and so does my passenger. The doors close themselves. So I can do that from the outside just by brushing my finger on this piece right here. If we make our way down to the side here, you can see the silhouette of the car. And one thing that Rolls-Royce goes out of their way to mention is that this is not a 2+2 car, it's a full 4-passenger vehicle. So 2 adults can sit in the back with lots of luxury and lots of comfort. It's easy to get in and out because the seat kind of just goes forward like this, and it even slides forward if you need it to in order for somebody to hop into the back. But you know, being over 6 feet tall, I'm sitting back here in complete comfort. It's totally fine. The car has a brushed aluminum trim that goes around the windows and the base of your roof when it's up, and around your window frame. That's a really nice touch. Chrome door handles, chrome Rolls-Royce logo on the side with the built-in side indicator. When we come to the back of the car, the tail lights are all trimmed in chrome as well. You can get these painted, you can get these black if you wanted to, but this is kind of the more standard look. This car doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it's definitely not skinny on options. When we come around to the back, you have your Rolls-Royce logo at the top of your license plate with the integrated lights, and you also have the chrome exhaust finishers. So about a $2,000 option. I think it's something you should get for free, especially considering how much you're spending. Back here, this is probably one of my favorite angles of the car because it's unmistakable. Now, I know that when BMW bought Rolls-Royce Motor Car and they tried to kind of revive the brand, they had a couple key goals when it came to that, and one was simplicity. So when they designed this car, they still wanted to be unmistakable, but they wanted to kind of build a car that looked a bit more modern, and more importantly, a car that'll age a bit better. Another big thing, because you're not going to go and spend all billions of dollars or millions of dollars to buy this brand without trying to make money on it. The one way they tried to do that is by building more and making them appeal to a younger buyer, but not turning away any older buyers. Making a car that kind of appeals to both. If I showed you a Rolls-Royce from the 1990s, you'd probably think it was from the 70s, because all they kept doing was building on top of it, and it had kind of a busy look, but still unmistakably Rolls. I think they still did that with this, because when you see this, it doesn't look like anything else and still looks like a Rolls-Royce. There's no busyness. It's just all clean lines, and the car will age very well. And this car was kind of hit the road in 2015 as a 2016 model. So by today's standards, it's 10 years old. But when you see this, it doesn't look 10 years old at all. It looks like still showroom condition. Okay, so I went over a few details on the outside. Let's hop on the inside. When the coach doors open like this, it actually makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the car, especially for the driver and the passenger. And the good thing about these doors is that they weigh a ton, but you can stop them wherever you want to, and the door piston will keep it in place. That's a really nice feature. You don't got to choose from those notches, something all Rolls have. When you hop in, it's kind of hard to grab this and swing it closed. So they give you this nice button right here on your window frame that you just press and the door will close by itself. Really nice feature, actually. So now that we're on the inside, I just want to point out a couple quick things about this interior. So this interior color, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong or don't quote me on this, I think it's called seashell. So it's a really nice like off-white or eggshell almost type leather. Ventilated seats, massage seats, heated seats. The steering wheel, all wrapped in leather, so is your dash. The trim, I believe this is called dark ash veneer. So if you look closely, it looks like piano black. When you look close, you can kind of see the patterning in the wood. All of this comes from the same tree. The sound system is Rolls-Royce Bespoke. So it's an upgraded sound system that Rolls-Royce makes themselves. So that was a particular upgrade on this car. As is the dawn clock, which is on the dash. That's a really nice clock too. Lights up really nicely at nighttime. This window frame is perfectly above my head and I can see all the visibility. The one thing I like about the Rollses is that when you have the Spirit of Ecstasy at the top, it kind of gives you an idea as to the proportions of the car because it's not small. It's actually built on a modified 7 Series extended wheelbase 7 Series chassis. So when you have the Spirit of Ecstasy back there, up front there, I kind of have a better idea as to where the front of the car is. And it's literally like steering a yacht and just as comfortable too. One thing I like about the Rolls-Royces of this generation is the analog gauges. I like digital gauges. They look nice and everything, but there's just something about analog that seems a little bit old school to me that I think is, a really nice touch. There's only 3 gauge pods in here. The one on the left is a bit smaller. That's for your power reserve. So at any point when you're on the throttle, it lets you know how much horsepower you have at your disposal at any given time. Your speedo's dead center, and then you have your fuel and oil temperature gauge on the right, which is important information to have if you're driving any car, especially a turbocharged car. You do have a little bit of a digital display that's just beneath these analog gauges that gives you information like your trip, your odometer, things of that nature, the driver's aids when they're helping you, which brings me to those driver assistance systems like night vision. So there's a camera that's hidden in that chrome grille that I was pointing out to you earlier that has a thermal image camera that is able to pick up heat signatures and recognize pedestrians, animals, things like that. Really helpful when you're driving at nighttime. You also have lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring. That stuff normally I wouldn't care about if I was driving an more ordinary car, especially one that was smaller. But when you're driving a car as big as this, it really helps you kind of navigate and drive it a bit more safely for you and those around you. The center console is very, very symmetrical. All the buttons have a nice feel to them. They're either trimmed in leather or chrome, or they're actually made of glass. Like these buttons here, numbers 1 through 8 help you not only pick your favorite radio station, but you can activate different features of the car using those buttons, and they have a really nice touch to them. There's nothing that you touch in this car that feels cheap, and that's not by mistake. These cars are a far higher production than they used to be. They don't spare any expense when it comes to the materials that they use, and where you would find stitching and things of that nature. The car also has head-up display, which is really useful. Transposes an image onto your windscreen, lets you know things like your speed, what your driver assistance systems are doing, like when they're intervening. It displays information related to your adaptive cruise control if you have that activated, and more importantly, your speed. They open up a lot of space down here because they borrowed the iDrive system from BMW, and by opening up space down here, by moving your shifter to the column, you can have more easier access to this stuff. Since the transmission is all selected up here, this is all electronic. It's not actually connected to the transmission, but still works flawlessly. The car's got an 8-speed gearbox from made by ZF, and one interesting feature that this car has, and one thing a lot of Rolls-Royces do, is they do a lot of the thinking for you. So when you're driving along, the car uses GPS to determine where you're going and at what speed. So let's say you're driving somewhere and you're approaching a part of your journey that you're going to be driving up a hill. The car knows that you're actually going to be approaching that hill and will drop down a couple of these gears for you. Despite being a regular automatic transmission, you won't feel these shifts. So when the car is preparing to kind of drive up this hill or down a hill for you, or go around a bend, it's making all those decisions for you, so you have all the power at your disposal at any given time. But it's not like you're driving in a sports car and it drops down 3 gears and the engine starts screaming. You won't know, and the car does a really good job of staying quiet. Quietness is a big deal when it comes to this car. Despite the fact that it has a rag top, you think you might hear some external noise, and you do hear a little bit, but that rag top, which we're going to show you, is 6 layers thick. And that's not only for safety, but mainly for sound. The good thing about the rag top on this car is that it goes up in about 20 seconds, and you can operate it up to, I believe, 30 miles an hour. So it's good because if you ever get caught in a rain shower, which I imagine people in the UK, this happens a lot too, you don't have to stop the car and pull over in order to put the top up. And it's quite a little ballet. Now, a couple of things I want to point out about the top here. Now, this top is just a little bit dirty just because we've had taken the car out a couple times. But the whole point of the top is for you not to be able to see any wrinkles, and for you not to be able to see any of the skeleton that comprises the framework of this hard top here. I know this looks like wrinkles, it's just a little bit of dirt. The car just needs to be cleaned a bit better, but it does a really good job of maintaining the silhouette of the car. And when this roof comes up, it doesn't really kill all the headspace or the headroom for all your rear passengers. So your rear passengers, even though they're not driving, or front passengers are still sitting in luxury, looks really good. When you come back here, you have a nice piece of glass that has a built-in defroster. There's no plastic back here like old Rolls-Royces. It's just big enough for you to see what's behind you, but small enough to provide an amount of privacy for the occupants, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to Rolls-Royces. I know it's kind of negated by the fact that it's a convertible, but Rolls-Royce still wants you to have some of that privacy. Another important feature that I wanted to point out about the roof, and it's kind of hard to do it in a video, but anytime that you operate a retractable top, whether it's rag or it's a hard top or whatever, you have a series of motors and actuators that are all doing their job in order to open and close the roof. Now, quietness, like I said, is big priority for Rolls-Royce. So they've done this in such a way that when you press the button to open and close this roof, as an occupant to the car, you can't really hear any of these motors. It's almost dead silent. A really nice feature, and it doesn't really sound like a transformer when you're trying to do this. Really nice touch. Everything about driving these cars is undramatic. Everything's so calm. I don't hear the engine, but the car has plenty of power for me to do what I want to do. I see a bump coming up that in normal cars, I almost brace myself and this car glides right over it. We're gonna go over some train tracks and I'm gonna let you know when they're coming up. You're gonna see how easily this car goes over it. I've been in some really comfortable SUVs that jostle me more than in this car. Just a testament to the priority these guys put on comfort and quality. Everything is just easy with this car. I'm turning the steering wheel with my pinky. Like, the most drama that you're gonna get when you're driving this is when you start hitting higher speeds and you hear like the slightest bit of wind noise, but that's the only indication that you're really doing anything. It's like driving a sofa, and I mean that in the best way possible. I'll put on my ventilated seat. I don't want to dick around with the iDrive to activate the massage, but whatever, this is good enough. The cool thing about this interior, like I said, I think it's called seashell. When you have a convertible like this, then you have a light colored leather like this, even when the sun hits it, it's not as hot to the touch as if you had a black interior. So if you always like driving topless, it's nicer to have a lighter interior because it'll be easier on you when you kind of hop in and out of it. Even when you're braking in this car and you come to traffic lights, I know that the car is downshifting. That's because like I'm looking for it. But even when the car comes to a complete stop, bigger cars usually have this whole teeter-totter effect. Not on this guy. Because when you're pressing the brakes, the front end kind of stiffens, but not in such a way that it makes it uncomfortable. I'm butchering the description as to how the car behaves, but I hope you get an idea as to what I'm talking about when it comes to this sort of stuff. There's a reason why these things cost $500,000. It's not just because of the logo on the front. Now, it's hard for you to see from this angle, but one thing that I've noticed is that if you're driving a Lamborghini, people are in awe of the car, and they're all looking at the car. Now, when they see a Rolls-Royce, people tend to be more interested in who's driving than the car itself. And I think that's a testament to Rolls-Royce and their marketing department. We're just driving in South Oakville right now on Lakeshore. We just did a quick little zip through downtown there. Car gets a lot of attention. I live west of Oakville, and sometimes when I'm going home, just to avoid all the riffraff on the highway, sometimes I just take Lakeshore all the way. You drive by these beautiful houses. You drive by a lot of these mature trees that cast a lot of shade onto the road. It's just a nice relaxing drive after a hard day's work. So right now we're driving on a street called Chartwell, and they have one of these bigger speed bumps. So here's one coming up. Not even gonna brake, in fact I'm gonna press the gas. I didn't feel a thing. I'm gonna hit this one on an angle right now. I've never been more comfortable. Wait till we go over the train tracks. We're gonna get to that traffic light and just go straight. So here on Chartwell, there is a set of railroad tracks that are not nice. And on this, I'm actually gonna hit the gas. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's amazing. That's ride comfort and quality you get with experience. Rolls-Royce didn't put it this way, but I know that when they revived the whole Rolls-Royce brand, when BMW bought it, that they wanted to shake the whole old man stereotype by making the car more modern and sleek. I think they did a great job. Tell me what you think in the comments.